Hey there, this is Jofel. Today, we will talk about a very interesting topic that you might not know it yet. We'll talk about semantic cessation and cliché. What are these two phenomena? Brace yourself as we dive in. Have you ever repeated a word so many times and it started to sound strange and meaningless? Or noticed hearing a word multiple times from someone and it feels like it has no meaning at all? Or often hearing some phrases or expressions and feel they have lost their impact due to overuse? If yes, stay with me as we go ahead and dig in these two phenomena, or might be you experienced semantic cessation or cliche. Semantic cessation is a fascinating phenomenon that occurs when a word is repeated so frequently and it temporarily loses its meaning or significance. This effect is often experienced as the word starts to sound unfamiliar or nonsensical, or when your brain gets tired, and the technical term for that is we called reactive inhibition. Even though we know its definition and usage, but your brain is resisting. In 1962 doctoral dissertation by Professor Leon James, he coined the phrase semantic cessation. The mechanism behind semantic cessation involves neural adaptation. When a word is repeated, the neurons in the brain responsible for processing its meaning become fatigued. This temporary reduction in responsiveness leads to a decrease in the word's semantic processing. As a result, the word may seem less meaningful or lose its connection to its usual associations. For example, the word learn. Now say the word learn repeatedly. Learn, 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 and learn. After several repetition, you might start to notice that the word learn begins to lose its meaning and sounds like a strange or unfamiliar noise. Or another example, way back when we were in elementary, we've been asked by our teacher to write, "I'm sorry, I won't do that again," multiple times on the chalkboard as a consequence for our misbehavior. Initially, we write the phrase with sincere regret and understanding. However, as we continue to write it repeatedly, the words might start to feel less meaningful and lose their impact. The repetition of the phrase on the chalkboard could lead to a situation where we experience a semantic situation, where the words temporarily lose their meanings or their significance due to repeated exposures. Or another example, perhaps, that might be most of us can relate when we encounter situations where one apologizes repeatedly for the same issue or behavior. Initially, each apology carries sincere remorse and a commitment to change. However, with frequent repetition, the word sorry can start to lose its impact. It may begin to feel routine or less meaningful, especially if the underlying issue persists or if the apologies are not followed by meaningful actions to address the problem. This can lead to a situation where the word sorry undergoes semantic cessation, temporarily losing its emotional weight and effectiveness in resolving conflicts. And now we already understand what is semantic cessation. Right now, let's go ahead and know what is cliché on the other hand. Cliché is a phrase or expression or idea that has become overly familiar or commonplace due to its repeated use. They are often seen as lacking of originality. Clichés are subject to overuse and become a quite common expressions in everyday language. Since they are so ingrained into the English language, many people do not recognize the original meaning or impact of the cliched expression. Here are a few examples. At the end of the day, think outside the box, honesty is the best policy, actions speak louder than words. In writing, overuse of cliches can make a story predictable and unoriginal, like watching a movie and you predicted what will happen next. And in daily conversations, cliche can make sometimes be comforting and familiar, but they can also make interactions feel less genuine. One of the best examples here is the Filipino term laban lang, or keep fighting. Due to its overuse, the phrase may not resonate deeply with the person hearing it, and it can, across as a generic, an automatic response rather than a heartfelt encouragement. Last example is that when someone will say sorry, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you again. You know how things are. Now, when sorry is used excessively over time or inappropriately, it can become a cliche. This happens when the apology seems automatic, insincere, or overused, thereby losing its impact and meaning. For instance, if someone apologizes frequently for minor issues or uses sorry as a filler word, it can be seen as a cliche expression. In conclusion, if a phrase or word like sorry is used repeatedly in a way that makes it seem insincere or habitual, it is functioning as a cliche. But perceptions of cliches are somewhat subjective. Newer expressions, in particular, may seem novel to some people and tiresome to others. If a phrase or word like sorry is repeated so many times in a short span that it loses its meaning, it is an example of semantic cessation. While both involve repetition, semantic cessation is a short term immediate effect on individual words, while cliches represent a longer term cultural effect on expressions and ideas. And that's it for today. Let me know in the comments if you experienced these two phenomena. Again, this is Jofel, and I hope you learned something for today. Bye bye for now.